Welcome to my chow line. I'm Tracy Lingle. Join me as we serve up dishes that are sure to please. We will also hear stories related to food and military service. Today, I will be honoring my dad's service while we cook up a classic, baby back ribs. We're also going to be using Grill Your Ass Off seasonings. I just got a shipment in. I also got a flag. All right, so we're going to trim these up. We're going to peel the membrane off, and we're going to season them up. All right, so we're going to be using Grill Your Asses Off Infidel pork rub. We're going to be using that on these ribs. So we're going to season the backside first, the bone side. You can use a binder if you'd like. You could put on mustard. But that's if you're in a hurry. You don't have to do that. If you have time, like I do, like I'm going to season these up and give it 30-40 minutes by I season the meat up, prep the meat, and then I get the grill started. And then once the grill's ready to go, the smoker, then that means I've given my ribs time to rest, and all that seasoning to form a crust on there, so that way I won't have to worry about it losing. That's what the binder's for, is to help maintain that crust. So if you just let it sit, it accomplishes the same goal. But Grill Your Ass Off Infidel seasoning is really good. Pork rub, I've used it before, and it's really, really good. We'll season the rest of these up, making sure we coat everything really well, and then we'll get the fire going. Check back when we're ready to put these on the fire. All right, so we have our ribs already seasoned up. I'm doing an extra set of ribs. I'm doing it in the Grill Your Ass Off Crispies mango habanero seasoning. This one is done in the Infidel pork rub. You can tell we've got the moisture already being pulled out of the meat here. So this one is still pulling a little bit, but I seasoned them right after I did these, so we should be good to go. Our smoker's at the temp. So we'll get these on, and we'll get these smoking. All right, so now we've come to the part of the show that a lot of people like, where we're going to share a story. Because if you're seeing this video right now and you haven't seen any of the cooking videos, I'm doing this in the middle of a cook. I'm cooking ribs for my dad to honor his service. But anyway, when I do these videos, I include this section where I give his story that has to do with food and his time in service. I'm going to enjoy a cigar. I'm going to have some Horse Soldier bourbon, which is great bourbon, by the way, and I'm going to have a Warfighter tobacco cigar. Thanks for joining us. Let's get into this. Cheers, Dad. All right, so it is Republic of Korea, 1961. My father was a member of D Company, 51st Signal Battalion. Started in March 1961 in Uijeonbu. So this is 9 years after the end of the Korean War. Keep that in your mind. The unit consisted of a first lieutenant and 30 U.S. enlisted, E4 or better, and 100 Katusas, which are Korean augmentation to the U.S. Army. That's what we called TCNs, Third Country Nationals. Katusas was Korean augmentation to the U.S. Army. As a first lieutenant, I replaced a captain as a company commander after a few months. Thankfully, an ROK with Republic of Korea liaison officer, First Lieutenant Kim Jong-yong, was available to help me deal with the language and cultural differences. In fact, we traveled to various official and unofficial activities, including attending the performance of the National Symphonic Orchestra and Chorus. we dined on almost exclusively Korean food. Lots of kimchi. He said lots of kimchi too. Beef bulgogi, and even marinated raw shrimp at a restaurant in Seoul. During my deployment, which was from 61 to 62, beginning August 16th, 1961, the Berlin Wall went up. Wow. That caused a bit of commotion for a few months. I was eventually transferred and then eventually came home. However, I continued being friends with First Lieutenant Kim even after I rotated back to Fort Gordon. I met him again when he was stateside for a school at Fort Monmouth, New Jersey. I don't know that fort. I don't know if it even exists still. All in all, my memories of the 15 months, 8 days I was in Korea includes heavy experimentation with hot and spicy foods. So the way my dad was explaining this to me was it was still kind of like the Wild West in parts of Korea. I mean, while he was there, the Republic of Korea had to overthrow a despot of a leader, Syngman Rhee. I don't know how to pronounce that, but I mean, you're talking 9 years after the end of the Korean War. So the country is literally trying to rebuild itself. Now, he was in charge of maintaining telephone lines. That was his job and his unit's job. While also training the nationals, the Katusas. So during this time, they would have been, driving around. He wasn't even allowed to drive a vehicle because, being an officer, if someone got hurt, he could be personally charged. So he would have to let the Katusas drive, and then he also had to try to get around some of the language barriers too with him. And that's why it was helpful to have First Lieutenant Kim. That's got to be a weird situation. It's like, I'm sure some of you guys that were from Afghanistan or Iraq during the first several years after they started taking over and began rebuilding, that there was probably a lot of weird things you would see, and the areas still rebuilding, and then places that aren't being rebuilt, places that were just devoid of life. But Uijeongbu is a lot bigger than it was when he was there. He sent me some pictures, and it looked. I'll try to include pictures throughout of some of the things that he could see. He only sent me a few. He could only find a few left over from that time. But what an experience! This was also right around the time that Vietnam was getting ready to start kicking off. So, I mean, you've got, multiple things going on throughout the world within the military. So, but my dad also told me that he enjoyed spicy foods. He got that from his dad, my grandfather. But he's not really, most everybody in his family doesn't like spicy food. So, he's, the Korean food kind of held a special place for him because of that, because he was able to enjoy the spicy foods, and he said he ate a lot of it. Well, I thank y'all for taken the time to watch this video. I hope that you enjoy these videos. I'm continuing to check on the meat here, but if you have a story you would like me to share, I've already received a few. If you have a story you would like me to share, please send me a message, Instagram, or leave a comment, like, share, and subscribe. Let everybody know. These are great stories. It's a little bit of history, a little bit of living in the some of the moments that our other veterans have lived through that might relate to your time in service. You know, similar situations but different time frames, different countries. Food has a way of doing that to us, and it brings up memories, the smells, the tastes. So anyway, well, I just wanted to thank you guys for hanging out with us. Thank all the veterans for your service, and I pray that you continue to be safe out there. Don't let the bad days win. Well, cheers. Thanks, Dad, for your service. I appreciate it. Love you. Love all of you guys. Peace out. All right, so now we've got our good crust on our ribs. We're going to go ahead and wrap them. I'm going to be using a little bit of my spritz, which is apple cider vinegar, Worcestershire, and a little bit of water. Wet this butcher paper. I've got 2 pieces of butcher paper here. Going to take and put a little butter down. A little bit of brown sugar. And then we're going to grab our ribs. So we got some good color, got a little bit of pullback on the ribs there, on the bones. So we're going to set them down in that butter. And then we're going to wrap. The way I like to wrap them is in, fold over a little bit, keep it nice and tight. And then we're going to put them back on, and we're going to try to keep them meat side down. I've been using a rack for vertical so we can get more of them on here. But now that they're wrapped, we're going to try to keep them all meat side down. We'll take the rack out, and I'll just kind of stack them. Because all we're doing now is we're just maintaining heat. All right. We're going to let that run for another hour till they're good and tender. And then we'll take them out of the wrap, put them in a foil pan, and we'll sauce them. All right, so we're going to make a quick side to go along with these ribs. Some of these ribs I'm taking to a family that just moved in down the street, so I'm going to make a side to go with the ribs to take to them. I'm going to be using the Claymore Cajun seasoning from Grill Your Ass Off. GrillYourAssOff.com. Order all kinds of seasonings. They got all kinds of good stuff, so I'm going to be using that. We're taking drained sweet corn. We're going to take a couple of chunks of butter. And we're going to take this Cajun seasoning and we're going to do a heavy dusting across the top. Especially on the corn. All right, and then we're going to put that in the smoker with some foil over the top of it and let it melt, and then I'll take the foil off of it and let it toast. All right, the butter is melted, and I kind of stirred up the corn a bit. I've checked the temperature on our ribs here. I'm going to adjust them stack wise so that they're not in the same spot, kind of move them around a little bit, but I've kept them separate. This is our habanero, mango habanero, and this is our regular infidel. So I'm going to just kind of rotate them around a little bit so that way they're not staying in one spot, and then we'll check them again. They'll be ready in a little bit. All right, so I've pulled the ribs off. We're going to unwrap them. We're going to place them in this pan, and then we're going to put some barbecue sauce on them. Grill Your Ass Off has several different sauces you can use. You can make your own. Pull these off. You want all these juices down inside here as well. Really good. You almost fall off the bone. Almost. Right at the edge. Which is where we want it. We want them to stay whole. But you can see here they're already starting to separate. I mean, just a little bit of pull on it and it'll want to come off of that bone. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and sauce these up. And then we're going to stick them back on just to let the sauce kind of get tacky. Get a little sticky sweetness on it. These are going to be really good. Got a little pull back on the bones. And we're doing real good here. You can smell this. Oh. Alright, we'll let that sit on there for 15 minutes. Let it get tacky and we'll pull it off and we'll be ready to let it set and be ready to serve it up here in a minute. Alright guys, so I pulled them off, cut up a few pieces off of them. Remember we used our Grill Your Ass Off seasonings. We used the Infidel pork rub on these. On the other ones I used the mango habanero. Check them out. Also while waiting on this to cook, I got my merch for Warfighter Tobacco. Finally got my sign in, got a little care package from them. Check them out, Warfighter Tobacco. Let's give a taste test here. I know that's what y'all are waiting on anyway. Got a good smoke ring on both of these. These are off two different racks. I pulled one so you can kind of see. This one's got a really good smoke ring. Just really, really good. So let me try this. It just comes right off. Oh wow. Nice. Yeah. Still clings to the rib just a little bit, but it wants to come off. Taste of smokiness. Hints of, you got sweetness from the barbecue sauce. That Infidel seasoning is really good. Can't beat that at all. Couldn't beat that with a stick. Alright, let's try this corn out. This was just a bonus, but it's really good, I'm sure. You got sweetness. And remember, I seasoned this corn with the Cajun seasoning from Grill Your Ass Off, the Claymore Cajun seasoning and butter. And man, that's really good. Got just a hint of spice to it. I didn't, over season it. And that butter makes it nice and creamy. And it was already sweet corn. It's got a hint of smoke. Well, that's it. Thanks for watching this video. This one's for you, Dad. I hope you enjoyed this video. Like, share, subscribe, do all the things. Make sure you're getting the notifications whenever I'm posting a new video. Tell everybody about it. If you have a story you would like me to share, let me know. Drop me a line, Instagram, and leave a comment. Check it out. My Chow Line, baby. My Chow Line, man. This is good stuff, man. Have a great day.